Hey everybody, Film Brown here, at the movies with film. Here's a film. Now, I like to work with titles, you know, I'm thinking of titles sometimes that kind of bug me, or titles that don't make a lot of sense. Well, we got a film here from 1962 called The Brain That Wouldn't Die. Okay, you know this Jan in the Pan film, right? It's not just a brain that wouldn't die, it's a whole head. So why didn't they call it the head that wouldn't die? Now, when you say that out loud, hey, we're going to the drive-in to see a movie called The Head That Wouldn't Die, you're kind of like, what's showing with it? You know, is a Don Knotts film with it or something like that? Then I want to see the ghost of Mr. Chicken or something, you know. And at least, or you know, Mr. Limpet. Remember, see Mr. Limpet and The Head That Wouldn't Die. Yeah? Well, no, the brain that wouldn't die. So, inside of her head is a brain. Okay, so I guess I can buy this. This is a film directed by Joseph Green. Didn't do a lot of stuff. He was more of a TV guy. Later in the 80s, he did a film about a stripper, which kind of makes sense. This film has a lot of strippers in it too. Let's talk a little bit. Now, sometimes, I was thinking about this, you know, mad scientists, mad doctors, you know, are they really? Okay, now they start off with this great idea like, I want to save mankind, I want to do some great good for things. And the idea that maybe I can experiment and help people to live longer, you know, and maybe have a brain that does stuff, you know. So that would be cool, okay, but I'm doing it for good. Well, Jason Evers plays Bill Courtner in here, okay? And his dad gives him a hard time, like, you are unethical, my son. You know, I might want to have to disinherit you and stuff like that. But he goes out, he experiments, and like any of these guys, they always have like their lab at home, too. It's like, I work at the hospital, but gotta go to my lab at home where I'm doing the real good stuff. That's where I'm doing the real McCoy stuff, the stuff that ancient astronaut theorists would be very proud of, okay, that I'm doing down there. So he has a lab down there, and he's got well, got a woman, okay, who gets in a car wreck, okay, and he tries to save her, but he can't, but he saves the head, and keeps that head alive. That's played by Virginia Leith, okay, plays Jan, and that's where the Jan in the Pan comes from, and again, I'm sort of film in a pan, or man in a pan, okay, canned man. Okay, is what you got here. So the film, okay, he keeps her head alive, and he's got all kinds of stuff going on, tubes and stuff. He also keeps alive this big weird monster guy in a closet. Yeah, it's a harbinger of like, yeah, he's had some experiments that didn't work very well. So who knows what kind of you know, mad scientist he is, how ethical it is to keep this big guy alive. And the Jan is able to talk to this thing. Okay, and keep an eye on this thing in the closet because it's pretty scary. When I first time saw this thing and what he does later on in the film, scared the crap out of me. Scary stuff, this big guy, okay, in the closet. Okay, so he wants to keep her head alive, and it's not like, just happy to have you around, right? He says like, I want to rebuild you. Now this is one of those things, you know, I got to rebuild a woman. This is a real sexist film, okay, because where is he? He's like, oh, what am I going to do? You know, I got to get a body, right? So where does he look for bodies? Models, strippers, and photographic models, right? Nude models. It's like, yep, that's where I'm going to find the body to do with Jan. Now think about the objectification of women that's going on in this thing. Yeesh. You know, so there he's a bad guy. Okay, and real despicable too. I mean, he hangs around with these people, right? Kind of sizing them up, you know, on a scale of 10. You know, will they look good on the head, type of thing. And he does find one, okay, that he thinks will look good on the thing. But by that time, Jan has been talking to the man in the closet, okay, gets him all head up, okay, and then bad things are going to occur. A lot of films that deal with animated heads, okay? The Head, there's that German film, The Head, that we do show once in a while on here. There's also two-headed transplants, right? Everybody's experimenting with, they saved Hitler's brain in a head, okay? It's not like we saved Hitler's head, Okay? No, his brain. Now that kind of makes sense, right? Because the brain is where the thoughts are. If you just save the head, it's like, big deal, it's like a potato. We saved Hitler's potatoes, which make no sense. But here, okay, Jan, she's gonna, she doesn't like just being a head there, and she really doesn't like what he's doing, right? And what's going to happen with these women that he is capturing and things. Well, horrible stuff, right? This Bill Courtner is not a guy to hang around with, okay, for sure. And of course, Jan has limited mobility, so she has to use the man in the closet to get stuff done. I think you're going to enjoy this film. Sammy Petrillo, remember Sammy Petrillo? He makes a small bit in here. He plays a photographer at one of these art shows. And you remember him, he was one of those he was the great Jerry Lewis impersonator, right? Who Jerry Lewis sort of, took under his wing and then turned on him, okay, and destroyed him. Sad story about this guy. He's sort of like a man in the closet too, in some ways. So, gonna enjoy this film. The Brain That Wouldn't Die, Joseph Green. He also wrote the screenplay for this too, so he's an auteur. I don't know if he edited, he might have sat next to the editor, okay? Hopefully he didn't like the editor, because maybe the editor would turn into a big hairy monster or something like that and like him and then kill him. Okay, so like what we saw with Bride of the Gorilla. I wonder why they didn't call that Bride of the Ape, or Bride of the Monkey. I digress greatly here, okay? But here's The Brain That Wouldn't Die, Head That Wouldn't Die, Jan in the Pan, and of course, mad doctors who start out good, have great intentions, and then just like kind of fall off the deep end. Well, have fun with this film. I think you're going to enjoy it. It's one of the great camp classics of all time. Great music in this film. Whoa, a wonderful score, and have a good time, folks. Let's roll it.